Hello students, welcome to today's class. Today's topic is care of a patient with a fluid and electrolyte imbalance. Okay, in the chapter of therapeutic nursing only, in the nursing foundation. Okay, so last class we have seen regarding the care of a patient with a altered body temperature, isn't it? Now, what is hot applications and cold applications? The same thing only here, the care of a patient with a fluid and electrolyte imbalance. Right, so our body is going to be consisting of the fluids, electrolytes, isn't it? Now, so now we'll see if it is any imbalance. If it is balanced means our body become healthy. If it is imbalanced means our body become what? Our body become what happen? Have a abnormal things, isn't it? Now we'll see each and what is the imbalance in the fluid as well as what happen if it is imbalance in the electrolytes. And what do you mean by electrolytes? Means the body are consisting of electrolytes, isn't it? Like a sodium and calcium, magnesium, ions. Okay, if it is in that imbalance, we can say hyper or hypo. We are using the terms like that. Hyper means excessive. Hypo means decrease, isn't it? In the fluid, I will tell you in detail in each slides. Okay. Let us start. First, we'll see what do you mean by fluid. What is a fluid? Fluid is a liquid contained in our body which helps to maintain the body temperature and the cell shape. Helps transport the nutrients, the gaseous and the waste. As we all know, all the macronutrients or the micronutrients once after the metabolism is going to be distributed through via water only, isn't it? Is water is there only it will help in the digestion, otherwise what happen? Is not reached to all the body, isn't it? So you know one thing, we all know in the anatomy, isn't it? What is this anatomy of a cell? Inside the cell also fluid present, outside the cell also fluid is present. What we call inside the cell fluid, that we call intracellular fluid. The fluid which present outside the cell we called extracellular fluid. Okay, so our body is made up of water, isn't it? So what are the function of water in our body? It helps to transport the nutrients and the gaseous as well as the waste in the body, isn't it? Also which maintains the temperature as well as maintain the cell shape. This are all the functions of the fluid. Okay, have a small review here. See the fluid balance. If it is normal balance means according to the body age and the sex. Okay, what is the total body water? See, for example, take a male and female here. Under the 18 years, what is the composition of the water in the body is 65% of water which present in the body, whereas the female is a 55% of the water, isn't it? And also if the age between 18 to 40 means the male which have a 60% of water and the 50% of water in the female. And for the 40 to 60 years of males, they consist of body is 50 to 60% of water. In case of female is 40 to 50% of water. And over the 60 year age, what is the male composition of water? 50% of body which contain water and 40% in case of the female. See, now we are observing what happened once the age is advanced, our body fluid becomes what happened? Decreases, isn't it? For the older people, the dehydration is very common. Hypovolemia is a very common, isn't it? Now we'll see what are the imbalance now. Okay. Yeah, now you see once again the composition. See, for the fetus, 100% of water is there. And the baby at birth, how many percent? 75% of body which consists of the water. And for the normal adult, how much? 60% of body which consists of the water. And for the adult is a 50 to 60% for the elderly people. Isn't it? Okay, now you will see the body fluid distribution. How the body fluid is going to be distributed. See, for example, take an example for 70 kg weighing person. Okay, 70 kg weighing person, they have a 100%, you think. That 100% of total body fluid, how is going to be distributed like this? I have discussed in the previous slide only what do you mean by intracellular, what do you mean by extracellular, isn't it? No. The fluid which present inside the cell, that we call intracellular fluid. The fluid which present outside the cell, that we call extracellular fluid. And the blood is composition of the plasma, that we all know, isn't it? No. So now we will take for a 70 kg person, the body water is about 42 liters we consider. 42 liters means how much? 60%. Okay, 60% of water is a body water. And how much will go for intracellular fluid is a 28 liters, means 40%. And how much it is going to be for extracellular fluid, that is 14 liter, that we call 20%. Okay, ICF, ECF, and what about the plasma volume? PV, that is 3.5 liters, that is only 5%. This is what the brief structure of the body fluid, how is going to be distributed in the body. Understood, no? ICF, ECF, PV and all. Clear? Okay. Okay, what do you mean by fluid balance? Okay, now we'll see simply what is fluid balance. Next we'll see what do you mean by imbalance. The fluid balance is nothing but the desirable amount of the fluid intake and the loss in the adult is ranges from the 1500 to 3500 ml each 24 hours. Means average we can say 2500 ml. See, when we called balance, when normally intake is equal to output, that is we call balance. For example, if we are drinking 2 liters of water, the same 2 liters approximate the output should be equal, then we say the fluid is in the balance condition in our body. Understood? Once again, for example, you are drinking the coconut water, for that may be a 200 ml consider, and along with the 200 ml you are drinking the water up to 1800 water per 24 hours. Now you consider 1800 plus 200 of coconut water. How much? 2000 ml, means approximate 2 liters of water. Whatever you are taking intake, 2 liters of water, you have to put output. You have to excrete the fluid, expel the fluid, that should be equal to how much? 2 liters only, through the urine, through the sweat, isn't it? No, through the fecal content and all. When the intake is equal to output, then we call fluid is in balance condition. For example, if your intake is 2 liter but your outtake is 1 liter, then we call as a fluid imbalance. Clear? Now we'll see what are the fluid imbalance condition. Okay, fluid volume disturbance or imbalance. See, it is abnormally decreased or increased fluid volume or rapid shift from one compartment of the body fluid to another. One compartment means what? Either from ECF or either from the ECF, means intracellular fluid to extracellular fluid, or extracellular fluid into a intracellular fluid. But you just have an idea, just you can say the definition. See, what do you mean by fluid imbalance? Means any abnormality or decrease or increase in the body fluid volume, that we call fluid volume deficit. So what are the fluid volume deficit? One is hypovolemia, another one is a hypervolemia. Tell me with me only once again, hypovolemia and the hypervolemia. The name itself indicate what do you mean by hypovolemia and what is hypervolemia, isn't it? Now we'll say what do you mean by hypo and what is meant by hypervolemia in detail. Okay, what do you mean by hypovolemia? Hypovolemia may occur as a result of reduced fluid intake, loss of body fluid, or we can say sequestration, or we can say compartmentalization of the body fluid. Means there is a reduced fluid intake or loss of fluid loss of the body fluid, that condition leads to hypovolemia, the state of hypovolemia, isn't it? No, what do you mean by compartmentalization? Means the transfer of the fluid through the ICF, through the ECF, that we call compartmentalization. But we'll see what do you mean by hypovolemia. Hypovolemia is a state where the body fluid is going to be reduced or decreased fluid state, that we call hypovolemia or fluid deficit. Okay. What are the clinical manifestations? Acute weight loss, oliguria, low blood pressure, sunken eyes, dizziness, weakness, decreased skin turgor, and concentrated urine. What is the normal urine color? It's a amber or straw color, isn't it? No, but when what happened in the concentrated urine, the urine output is less, as well as the color of a urine is very darkened yellow color, isn't it? That we call concentrated urine. See, these are all the clinical manifestation. The patient have a sunken eyes, dizziness is there, weakness is there, decreased skin turgor, the body become very dehydrated condition, rough skin, dry skin, acute weight loss, low BP. Okay, these are all the clinical manifestations. What is the treatment or intervention for them? Is a fluid management, means oral rehydration therapy. Okay, ORT. So what are the solutions we are using there? Glucose and electrolytes. Okay, glucose and electrolytes we have to give. Okay, then IV therapy also. Okay, the type of a fluid order depends upon the type of a dehydrations and the client's cardiovascular status. Depends upon the degree of the hypovolemia. We are introducing this IV therapy. One is oral rehydration therapy. Next is the IV therapy and diet therapy. What is diet therapy? Mild to moderate dehydration, correct with the oral fluid replacement. Encourage the patient to drink sufficient water. Okay. Okay, these are the treatment or intervention. Now we'll see what are the nursing management. So we have to monitor and measure the fluid at least every 8 hours and sometimes hourly also. Okay, we have to monitor the fluid at the body. How? Observe the sunken eyes. Okay, whether lips also, and the intake and output chart also. Okay, how much the body is consuming the body, how much is going to be excrete from the body. These all things we have to be monitored every 8 hours, sometimes hourly also, depending upon the patient. Then monitor the daily body weight, to check daily body weight, and monitor the vital signs. Observe for weak, rapid pulse and orthostatic hypotension. Monitor the urine concentration by measuring the urine specific gravity, and assess the degree of oral and mucosal membrane moisture. Okay, these are the nursing management. Now we'll see how to prevent the hypovolemia. To prevent the hypovolemia, the nurse identifies the patient at risk and takes a measure to minimize the fluid loss. For example, if the patient have diarrhea, what we had to do? Should we implemented the control of diarrhea? Isn't it? No, we have to stop the diarrhea and replacement of some fluid administration. That going to be include some antidiarrheal treatment also and the fluid replacement therapy. Clear, no? This is all prevention of hypovolemia. Now we'll see what do you mean by hypervolemia. Hyper means what? Excessive volume. When the body have excessive fluid collection, when the body fluid volume is exceed than the normal, then we called that is hypervolemia. Or one more definition is, it refers to an isotonic expansion of the ECF. What do you mean by ECF? Extracellular fluid caused by an abnormal retention of the water. So it's very important, abnormal retention of the water as well as the sodium, approximately the same proportions in which they normally exist in the ECF. What happened? There is a imbalance in the sodium level as well as the retention of the water abnormally in the body, that we called hypervolemia. Okay, it is a most often secondary to an increase in total body water. Okay, excessive body water in the body, that we call hypervolemia. Okay. Okay, what are the common causes for the fluid volume excessive? So congestive heart failure, okay, this is an abnormal condition, isn't it? No, congestive heart failure and early renal failure and excessive IV therapy and excessive sodium ingestion. Means sodium ingestion means excessive intake of a salt. Once we intake of a salt, everyone should drink more water, isn't it? No. Then SIADH means syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone secretion. Okay, this is also one of the abnormal condition. Then the corticosteroids. Okay, excessive take of a corticosteroids, or there is an imbalance in the corticosteroids that we causes the fluid volume excessive. Okay, mainly the two conditions, pathogenic conditions, congestive heart failure, early renal failure. In this condition, in the body is holded, accumulating of the fluid is more. That condition we call fluid volume excessive. Okay, these are the common causes. Next we'll see what are the clinical manifestations. Okay, increased BP, then as well as weight gain, bounding pulse, venous distension, pulmonary edema. Okay, in the pulmonary edema, how we can say the pulmonary edema when the dyspnea is there. What is dyspnea? Difficulty in breathing. Then the orthopnea means what happened? Orthopnea was very difficult breathing when the patient is supine position. In the lying down positions, the patient feels difficulty in breathing, that we call orthopnea. Then the crackles. Okay, crackles breathing. This is we called signs and symptoms. So what is the medical management? So the pharmacological therapy means the drug therapy. We have to administer the diuretics such as the thiazide diuretics and the loop diuretics. Diuretics means these are the drugs which helps to drain the water from the body. Okay, then the thiazide diuretics, example is the hydrochlorothiazide, loop diuretics, and the potassium supplement. Just you keep it in mind what is the management means. You say the type of diuretics we are using for the treatment of this hypervolemia. You say two things importantly. One is use of diuretics, one is potassium supplement. That's enough. So what is nursing management? Patient intake and output chart is very important. Okay, intake and output chart at a regular interval to identify the excessive fluid retention. Okay, next class I will teach you what do you mean by intake and output chart, how to maintain this intake and output chart. Okay, so we have to maintain as a nurse in the condition of hypovolemia as well as the hypervolemia, we have to be maintain this intake output chart. Okay, then the breath sounds are assessed at a regular interval in at-risk patients, particularly if the parenteral fluid are being administered. Okay, when the patients undergone the IV fluid, is very important to assess the breath sound. Okay, as well as monitor the degree of edema in the most dependent parts of the body such as the feet and ankle. So in the hypervolemia cases, what happened, especially in the feet and ankle, and the excessive fluid is going to be accumulated. That condition we call edema. Okay, these are the nursing management. So what is the summary now? Once we see concluded means hypovolemia and the hypervolemia. There's an imbalanced fluid condition, isn't it? No, hypo means what? Reduced fluid content in the body, the loss of fluid in the body. Excessive content of body, excessive fluid consumption, okay, fluid accumulation in the body, that we call hypervolemia, isn't it? No, so how we going to be treat? We have to maintain the intake output chart of the patient, a regular monitoring of the vital signs, isn't it? No, the diet management, fluid management based upon the condition, isn't it? No, so and next class we're going to be discussed regarding abnormal electrolyte balance. Okay, abnormal electrolyte balance, or we can say imbalanced electrolyte condition also we can say. Okay, next class we'll see that, and if you have any doubt please clarify in the group. Okay, see you in the next class.